Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
Happy Monday, everybody. My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia, and this is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the west side of San Antonio. West Bexar County also represented. We're going to go for about an hour and a half or so talking sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Joe, your Dallas Cowboys are on fire. Spurs coming off a win. Buffalo Bills look good, man. So we have a lot to get into today when it comes to sports. Sydney Sweeney also in the news. People taking shots at her body right now, man, because
why?
She's prepping for a role and her body is changing because of it. And a lot of people don't like those changes. Against Sydney Sweeney, baddie bracket semifinalist, not looking the same.
It don't matter.
And a lot of her fans are kind of upset. A lot of the guy fans are kind of upset. You know, Spotify issued their Wrapped last week, and now they've released the global Spotify Wrap, the biggest songs of the year, the biggest albums of the year. We'll kind of get into that a little bit. But Joe, how was your weekend, my man?
Yeah, it was good, man. Hung out, with some friends. Got to see the was it the War of the Rohirrim, the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Movie. Me and my boy had already planned that whole thing out. We went to go see it at the Alamo Draft House Park North location.
Nice.
Did some Christmas shopping and stuff. So yeah, it was a good day.
Very cool, man. We have our subscribers up, man. 1,920 strong. So we're now 80 away from 2,000. And Joe, you and I have talked about it, about having a party for 2,000.
They want a karaoke. That's what
they want
said.
A karaoke night. So I said that I would agree to a karaoke night. Yes, I would be there for the karaoke night. Let's do this in the next couple of weeks. But in order to do that, we need to get to 2,000 subscribers.
Yeah, and the party will be sponsored by Lululemon.
There you go. Which, by the way, I am wearing right now.
Because I'm saying that because they're already saying, look, it's Lululemon Monday.
You know, I got the long Lululemon tag.
They over here making fun of Lululemon, but I bet you once they touch the fabric, they're gonna be like, "Hey, it's kind of nice, dude. It's nice and soft."
We had Spernandez on Friday, right? He was like, "Dude, I went to war and I wear Lululemon, so we're not gonna hear that."
Spernandez,
Lululemon Monday. There you go, baby. There you go. You gave me the right of way. You know, it's so funny. I took this shirt off of the hanger today.
Yeah.
I was just getting dressed. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a warm,
muggy
December day. So I was like, I'm going to wear shorts and a polo shirt today, right? And I grabbed my polo shirt. I'm just going through the mall. I'm like, and I didn't want a golf shirt, because the golf shirt has that dry fit type of thing.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, in the summer, that's fine.
Good, yeah.
But in the winter, you kind of want to have like something cottony, right?
It breathes too much, man. You can get cold.
Yeah. So I'm going through it. And I'm like, oh, man, I forgot about this blue shirt, right? So I took the blue shirt off the hanger, put it on. Before I put it on, I'm looking to see that it's the right size and whatnot. And then I see the logo. It was a Lululemon polo shirt. So this is another one. So I lied when I said I only have one. I have two. I got a couple of pairs of shorts and a couple of pairs of pants.
And look at Tony Ornelas. No Lululemon for me. It's about the Costco life. Hey.
Dude, I lived the Costco life for many, 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 many years. And then, got separated and soon to be divorced. And I've just decided just to kind of amp the game up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever the chica says.
Well, chica is a lot more fashionable than other chica.
No doubt. Out of you two, she's the most fashionable.
Right. But in comparing ladies, that's just what it is. Today, I have a court hearing today for my divorce. So let's see how that turns out today. It's mediation day. So that's going to get going at 2:00. And hopefully we have everything all lined up in a row. Just want to get this whole thing over with and done with.
Move on. Yeah.
Got some news and notes about this week. I'll be hosting the show today and tomorrow. We're going to have guest hosts the rest of the week. Taking a little vacation. Was forced to take that vacation, by the way. When the travel company says, by the way, we're going to eat your deposit if you don't go someplace.
Yep.
And I had placed that deposit 2 years ago. I was like, okay, let me get this straight. I either lose money or go on vacation. What did I decide to do, Joe?
Go on vacation.
Go on vacation. I was going to lose out over $1,000, dude.
And tell them where you're going.
Going to Barbados, which, by the way, I had no idea where it was. I've been to Jamaica.
Okay.
I went there one time with my ex. Told the chica, I said, hey, let's go someplace that neither of us have ever been, because she's been all over the place in the Caribbean. So we said Barbados, right? Book a flight. Thought no big deal, right? Because going from San Antonio to Jamaica or San Antonio to Houston to Jamaica is no big deal, dude. It's like flying to Florida. It's a 2.5 hour flight. I looked at the itinerary, 8 hours.
Jeez.
And I'm there going, where the hell is this place? And I'm looking, it's basically South America. It's basically the equator. It is the easternmost island, so much so that even though we call it the Caribbean, technically, just geographically, it's not the Caribbean, though they call it such because it's part of an island chain.
Yeah.
And they basically says it's part of South America's sphere of geography, if you will. And I didn't realize it was that far, but man, Sith Elias coming out saying I should have taken her to Laredo. I'm trying to keep this girl. Sam asking the question, how many freaking vacations has Mike taken this year? # not jealous. I've taken a lot. And then not only that, I take a lot of business trips, right? So me and Chica have been to Miami. We went to go visit her daughter. I've been to Vegas for March Madness this past year. I had a business trip in Charlotte, North Carolina. I go visit my daughter all the time when she lived in Louisiana, so I go to Louisiana a lot. So I'm a man. I'm out and about, dude. I'm living the single life, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not really single anymore. I'm taken, but still.
Yeah. You're looking for the experience.
Well, I don't want to get old.
Yeah.
I don't want to get old. I bust my ass Monday through Thursday, Monday through Friday morning so that I can enjoy myself Friday and Saturday. So that's basically it, man. I'm just trying to enjoy life right now, man. Got that gut punch last year, man. Last summer, not this past summer, but the summer before, when I got laid off from the radio station, even despite having number 1 ratings.
Yeah, even after you left the show, months later, was it the number 1 rated show on the on ESPN on ESPN San Antonio?
Yep, the ratings came out.
Yeah,
so lost the show due to budget cuts. Got separated from my ex-wife. My favorite dog died. My business partner decided to go in a different direction.
Yeah.
And it all happened over like a 4 to 6 week period, man.
Yeah,
it was like life was piling on me.
Even most recently, one of your dogs ran away.
Yeah,
Daisy
ran away.
I'm sure she's shacked up with some old lady somewhere,
too.
dude.
I think so too. But you take a look at that.
Yeah. And
I have people know who I am as far as like as friends, like Fernandez and John Dyer. Happy birthday to John Dyer. Yeah. There is Michael, the financial guy.
Yeah.
There's Michael, the sports talk guy that I do with you. And then there's Michael, kind of personal life Michael. And all three are the same person in many ways.
The dad,
The dad and all that stuff. But man, I would say the summer of 2023, the fall of 2023 was the worst point of my life.
Yeah, man. Lots of things happened.
Thank you to you, Joe, for kind of helping me bring back up. We talk about how Valerie Pacheco asked me to go back on and do the podcast. And this is therapy for me, dude. People think like that I hate the fact that people come after me on Twitter. I don't, man. This is all therapy, dude. This is all
living rent free.
I live rent free, man. But think about it this way, man. For those of you who are going through crap, things get better. Things get better, man. I had my family who had my back. I had friends who had my back. Reconnected with several friends. Reconnected with family. Started dating a girl who, oh my God, is amazing, dude. I mean, she likes to go do stuff.
Yeah, that's always.
She likes to go do stuff, So it's worth the drive, man. It's a 3 hour and 15-minute drive. I got in this morning around 1:15. First thing I did when I got home, Joe, fed the dogs, make sure that they were okay. Second thing I did was started watching Yellowstone, who was the series finale. I'm down to the last 30 minutes, though. I didn't finish it, but I'm down to the last 30 minutes. And it concluded the way that it was foreseen back in the day, right? They said how it was going to end, and then they finished it that way. People forget that they tell you how it's going to end at the beginning. And it all happened that way.
Some of these comments are funny, dude, coming in. They said, when is the country song coming out, Mike?
Oh, I know, man. It's so funny. It's saying personal life dad Michael is my favorite Mike. And that's the weird thing is that Mike explaining how he used to be normal like us, but now he's a lead kid, Midtown, Texas. It's funny because I have my financial practice, that I've been doing for the last 5 years, but I've been in finance for 19 years. Dude, my financial practice has been doing pretty good. And it's funny because I kind of feel like God knew that I needed to win.
Yeah.
And at least professionally, I was doing good.
Yeah, look at Sam Salinas. Don't forget about us, the Necios. We're your therapy.
Dude,
True enough.
You're telling me, man. You're telling me. I'm telling you. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We couldn't even, I mean, a year ago, we were like maybe 400, 500, and it stayed around there for a while. And then we kind of moved up and up and up, inching closer to 1,000 when we got more consistent with the show. Now that we've been doing the show, I mean, we've seen our biggest growth happen over the summertime, where numbers just jumped up and they're just going beyond the expectation. I wouldn't have thought that we'd hit 1,000 this year, be okay. Our goal was 1,000. I wouldn't have thought setting the goal for 2,000 this year, but hey, that's the way things have gone.
The podcast is growing. The number of minutes viewed, 108,000 last month.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big deal. And thank you to all of those who've been with us from the get-go, from the startup. But we see new names that appear on our YouTube stream all the time. The thing about it is this, Joe, is that this is a community. This is the people's podcast when it comes to things.
Yeah.
And I think that part of it is that we allow our viewers, our listeners, our subscribers to dictate where the show goes in real time.
It does. And we make a part of the show by interacting with them, showing their comments up here on the screen.
Right.
We meet everybody in person when we do events. So it's like we're building that community, that family, man.
Alejandro Morales, is that a new name right there?
Yeah.
So shout out to Mike. Real talk. Keep going, man. I appreciate that, man. It's funny because, a lot of us go through adversity, whether it be professional, personally, relationship-wise, financial, or whatever the case may be. The only thing I can say, though, Joe, is that people think that I'm kind of cocky when I say this, but I'm not trying to be cocky when I say this. If you work your ass off, good things are going to happen. If you work your ass off, because, I have had a really good year this year with my business, but, dude, I used to work 60 to 80 hours a week making pennies compared to what I do now.
Or were you doing Uber Eats or something?
I drove Uber. I did Uber Eats, dude. I mean, come on, man. I just 5 years ago, I was dropping off, 5 guys at apartment complexes off of Potranco and Culebra.
Yeah.
I was picking up drunk chicks and taking them home. Not picking up that way, but picking up drunk chicks at the Latino clubs on Stone Oak.
That's the worst, dude, because you never know they're gonna throw up in the back seat or what.
One had to get out of the car to throw up.
Oh man,
took her all the way to Cibolo, right? Picking up people from the rodeo, from Spurs games. I did 2 full-time jobs for a couple of years. So it's funny because people think that I'm like being a dick sometimes when it comes to all this.
Yeah.
But Joe, if people want more money, guess what? Work more. That's just basically it. Go work more. Sacrifice for a little bit now for more later. Congratulations, as Sith brings up the fact that Brandon, Big Papi Medina. You know what? Let's show some photos of Brandon. Let me call him up, man. My guy, fantasy god, Brandon Medina. You also know him from his WWE stuff that he does, not only here but formerly on San Antonio Sports Star. Here's our guy. Here's our guy, Brandon Big Papi Medina, getting his master's degree,
University of Alabama,
Southwest High School's own.
Walked the stage on Saturday, man.
Roll Tide. Of course, he had to have a Scarface. Al Pacino, The World Is Yours.
Of course, man. That's his thing, dude. He loves that movie. Even he has a swimming pool.
Yeah.
And that's the saying that he has on the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
There's
his wife and folks.
His mom. Yeah.
His mom is funny, man, because she likes to gamble just like her son does. So it's kind of funny. His dad, Abel's very, very, very nice as well. So
he has a great family dynamic there, dude.
He does, man. Congratulations. It's nice to see somebody Latino do well, get educated. And I hate to say this, Joe, this guy, but even though he does a very good job at Southwest ISD and he's successful over there, the fact that he doesn't have a radio show in San Antonio and that everybody on sports talk radio in San Antonio seems to be
of a certain color?
No, not so much color. I'm not going to go there today. But 60 plus in age or around there is sad. There's a reason why sports talk radio is kind of dying. It's because the voices are getting too old. Yeah. I was too old for it.
Yeah, but in all honesty, we're not going to go there. But we need some more black and brown representation across the airwaves, man.
Yeah,
real talk.
Rudy J. Here's me in the photo of me and the Chica over the weekend. So we did a Christmas party at a bowling alley there in Cut and Shoot, Texas, out in East Texas, right? She was a dental hygienist, and we had a fun time out there. Joe, I hadn't been to a bowling alley in so long that wasn't like Main Event
or Pinstack
or Bolero. This was an old
Bolero.
This was an old school bowling alley in the middle of East Texas.
Could you still smell the cigarette smell in the air?
People could smoke in there.
That's what I'm talking about.
People were smoking in there. You had the dartboards, and it wasn't the electronic dartboards. It was here's a piece of chalk. Keep your score, right? And then the
cork board,
the pool tables. It was like you had to go find the
cue?
the stick, the cue stick that actually was functional, that wasn't chipped, that didn't have a flat edge to it, that
wasn't warped.
It wasn't warped. It was funny. They had the triangles to rack the balls.
Mm-hmm.
One was like flimsy, the other one weighed like 80 pounds. It was like, what is this, graphite? They had the rotating circle of pizza slices.
Hey,
one bartender for 80 people there.
Damn.
So we had to double fist it in order to get it. But it was fun. Everyone there was nice. I bowled okay the first game. The second game was awful.
I bet you anything, the hamburgers from that place were probably fire, dude.
Dude, back in the day, there used to be a bowling alley back in my hood growing up on Callahan and Culebra back in the day. It caught fire. They never built it up. The whole shopping center is still there, but what used to be the bowling alley was never rebuilt. It's like, dude, didn't you guys have insurance for that shopping
section?
But no, but going to those old school bowling alleys was crazy. Like the pin colors were different.
Yeah.
They had like suddenly a lime green one would pop up.
And the pins were kind of tinged yellow.
Dude, the shoes didn't have the padding on the bottom, or the padding was torn. It was weird. You know what they didn't have? They didn't have one of those and I don't know what it's for, that air blower that comes out.
Oh, it's for the hands, dude.
Yeah, what's that for? I was looking for it. They didn't have one. And I was thinking to myself, well, I don't need it, but what is it there for?
You just kind of dry your hands before you go ahead and roll the ball, Usually you dry the hands first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you go ahead and put a little bit of chalk on there.
Yeah.
And you get the ball, and then you just...
So I practiced doing the bowling, twirling the ball.
Oh, you want to spin? You want to make that spin?
I'd never done that before. And so when everyone left, we still had the lanes for like 15 minutes. So I took that time because, there were 5 games going that people bailed on to just practice it. And I didn't ask for instructions or whatever. I just try. Dude, It was working, man. Now I'm like excited about it.
You got a rhythm going on.
Tony coming out on our YouTube stream saying, Mike, you and your Nugget are a good-looking couple. Styles match. Dude, have you ever gone, Joe, to a high-end consignment store?
Yes, I have.
Joe, this weekend, get the F out the door.
What'd you find?
Okay, I found 4 Tommy Bahama shirts that fit me.
Yeah.
Brand new with the tags.
How much?
If I went to the store, $100 each.
Yeah.
$12 each.
Telling you, man.
Dude, my girl, as much as we laugh about how, Lululemon, some of that, don't get me wrong, we do go to Lululemon, we buy off the store, right? She's the queen of knowing where the clearance aisle is and getting the best out of the clearance.
Yeah.
Don't be wrong, we'll buy some regular price,
course,
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you just can't do it.
She's
right?
a savvy shopper.
She's completely savvy.
Yeah.
And she will go to these high-end places, and she's not trying to like do the Goodwill, because you're not going to find much of anything at Goodwill.
Yeah.
But there are high-end places. There's one on by here on it just opened up a couple of months ago. I forgot the name of it. It's called Uptown Junk.
Okay.
Like almost like the Bruno Mars song. It's called Uptown Junk, I believe is what it's called. And Uptown Cheapskate.
Okay.
Right? It's over on Culebra on 1604. It's right next to the Home Depot. So
yeah, I know where that's at. It's around the corner from us, man.
They have a new store there, dude. Everything in there is Ariat, it's Lululemon and all that stuff. Half of it's brand new.
Yeah, man. People buy it and they just keep it in their closet and like, I'm gonna sell it.
People go to like Ross,
or
they go to like TJ Maxx or Marshall. I hate those stores.
You find good deals.
But Uptown Cheapskate or whatever that's called over here, there's also one in Heebner Oaks right next to Brindle's, right next to the Flying Saucer.
I love the Flying Saucer.
Great
man.
place.
Good place, dude.
But man, you go in there, homegirl, I bought her a jacket.
Yeah.
A Lululemon rain jacket. Brand new with the tags. And it's not like fake.
Yeah.
It's like somebody got it, wasn't their size or never wore or whatever.
Yeah.
$40.
That's cheap. You know, Lululemon stuff's probably going to run you closer to 150, 200.
Mm-hmm. Hi man coming out and saying they got one on Hebner too. Yeah, he's talking about that one. Stumbled across it when I was shopping those stores. But you got to go to like the high end type places, right? You know, like as far as cities are concerned, you know, better parts of the city when it comes to like fashion type of thing. But Midtown junk is that what it's called? It's something cheapskate, right? It's whatever it is, but there's one right there. Go to the Home Depot.
Look at now the people in the chat are getting excited. Look at Sam Salinas. Wait, where is this, Mike? I absolutely love the way Tommy Bahama fits, man.
Dude, it is ridiculous. And it's so funny because people will go to like TJ Maxx or they go to Ross or Marshalls, get new clothes, but those are clothes that are kind of like, you know, it's like
they're just getting that's the stuff that overstocked.
It's overstocked. Yeah. It's overstocked for a reason. It's probably because it wasn't fashionable, right? But these places, man, oh my God, dude. Is it called Uptown Cheapskate? Let me look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Uptown Cheapskate. So Uptown one word, Cheapskate. They have an Instagram on there.
You got it? All right.
Dude. There's one on Hebner Road. And they've got everything in there they even got shoes, dude.
Damn.
They've got shoes that people never wore. This stuff is good, man. So again, I don't know how much you're gonna get on the website, but I went to the one here on 1604 in Culebra. Again, there's one on 281 on Hebner Oaks by the Flying Saucer. You know, we're the Flying Saucer, and there's the Brindles.
Mm-hmm.
There's the half price books.
Yep, I know exactly where it's at.
And then there's this store.
Yeah. Hey, man.
Good time.
The ice cream store right there is really damn good.
Oh,
man.
Brindles is amazing,
is good, man.
You know what else is amazing? We got to talk about Josh Allen, dude. Josh Allen. Apparently, ESPN had this graphic saying that his stats the last 2 games are the greatest fantasy stats for a 2-game performance by a quarterback in NFL history. Now, I know that's fantasy, but remember, he had 6 touchdowns in a loss last week. Yesterday, taking on the Bills, they bounced back to beat the Lions 48-42. I know the score looks close, Joe, but at no point were the Lions in this game.
No.
Because the Bills went out to a 14-0 lead after 1 and just basically were a score ahead each time. But look at Jared Goff. Jared Goff threw for 494, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and they lost.
Yeah.
Bills, Josh Allen, 2 touchdown passes, 362 passing, 68 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground. James Cook also added 2 rushing touchdowns and 105 yards. Joe, I'm sorry, Joe. I know they're 11-3, and I know that you look over on the other side, and Kansas City's 13-1, and Kansas City keeps winning games by a 1 score, though they did win by 2 scores this time. I get that. But I want to see that Kansas City-Buffalo matchup, because if Kansas City is going to win against Buffalo's going to score 35 points.
Yeah.
Can Kansas City score 35 points? Because they're not going to hold this team down. Josh Allen is having a historic year right now for the Bills.
Yes.
Historic in NFL history. The guy's going to win the MVP.
How many interceptions does he have? I bet you it's way down this year.
Dude, and not only that, the fumbles are way down as well. He has 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
MVP candidate, Mike.
MVP. Well, and then also look at the rushing, dude. Look at the rushing.
He's getting it done.
He's getting it done. He's going to have over 1,000 yards rushing as well. Dude, he's amazing. He's amazing. And sometimes those losses,
and he's winning off the court too. He just got engaged.
Haley Steinfeld.
Hey.
Josh Allen, though, we saw a game yesterday that I hope is the Super Bowl this upcoming February. If I was to tell you, Joe, it's going to be Detroit against Buffalo, how excited would you be about that matchup?
What, Buffalo Bills and who?
And the Detroit Lions. If this was going to be repeated in the Super Bowl.
Not too excited. And the reason is because you look at the Lions, man, and I don't think the Lions are one of these teams that's kind of overhyped a little bit. When they're all healthy, when the team's healthy, they're great. They're a great balanced team, but as the season wanes on and you get closer and closer to the playoffs, you start to see that they start to get decimated a little bit by injury. Yeah. So I think what's going to happen is that even though they're going to have a great season, they're going to come up to a team that's going to wind up surprising them, and they're going to wind up beating them. And I wouldn't want to see Detroit right now in the Super Bowl. I'd rather see the Bills.
Detroit, when healthy, is the best team in the NFC.
I have no doubt, no argument.
So many injuries out there. They only had one effective starting linebacker yesterday, so they got decimated, right?
Yeah,
and they got blown out, man. 40 some odd points. You get blown out because you have no defense. Tonight, the Vikings host the Bears on Monday Night Football. Falcons and Raiders as well. But the Vikings win tonight. Guess what, Joe? They're tied. You'd have a 3-way tie on top of the NFC.
Yeah,
and
the division.
And the Vikings and Lions are in the same division, which means one of those teams is going to have to go on the road.
Wild card.
As a wild card. Joe, imagine going 14-3 and being a wild card. It can happen.
What if that happens to the Lions? If the Lions wind up drawing the wild card, I bet you anything they're not going to make it, dude.
Guess who plays the last game of the season?
Who?
Minnesota at Detroit.
Dude, that's going to probably be the deciding factor. You can go from winning your conference, right?
Yeah.
To going down and being the wild card on the road.
That's funny. And then we see on the other side, the Steelers couldn't take care of the Eagles, man. The Eagles had too much offensive power. And you know what? Sometimes you have a stud receiver who cries and bitches and moans and complains. We saw that with Terrell Owens back in the day. We saw that this time with A.J. Brown to the Eagles. A.J. Brown, before the game started, the week leading up to it, they're saying, hey, I know we keep winning, but pass me the damn ball.
Yeah.
Like, why am I not part of this offense? I know Saquon Barkley is having a historic season, on track to have over 2,000 yards rushing, but I'm A.J. Brown. Throw me the ball. And it wasn't so much a dig at the offense where he was like being condescending or rude. He was being matter of fact when it came to it all. And you saw that he finally had Jalen Hurts throw the ball. A.J. Brown, 8 receptions, 110 yards and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 11 receptions, 109. You look at that offense, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. When Kenneth Gainwell is your third best running back, wide receiver. And then you have Gainwell and Barkley rushing the ball. That's a good team, dude. That's a very good team.
Look, we had a comment coming in from Tavarius. Disagree, he says, 49ers when healthy are the best, just not our year.
Well,
what have the 49ers done over the course of the last couple of seasons? Have they gone to the Super Bowl?
I mean, Brock Purdy regressed this year.
You know, I mean,
Brock Purdy regressed. And I know there was no Christian McCaffrey, but guess what? They did get some pretty good offensive output from his backups.
I mean, they're not a bad team when healthy, but every team has to deal with the injuries, But I think the 49ers are a good team. They're better than the Cowboys. Cowboys can't beat them, and the Cowboys, the problem with them is that they can't beat a lot of teams with winning records.
Right.
They look like world beaters against the lesser teams, but when they face a good team like the 49ers that play very aggressive, they just can't match up.
When the Cowboys play on grass, they tend to suck ass.
Yeah.
You take a look at it right now. The AFC playoffs are pretty much set right now. It's pretty much set because Kansas City will more than likely be the 1 seed. They're 13-1, 2 games above Buffalo with 3 games to go. There's a 2-game separation between 7 and 8. Again, the top 7 teams make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So if the season ended right now and the playoffs were to begin, Kansas City would get the bye. Buffalo would host the Chargers, who have cooled down a bit. The Broncos would go on the road to play the Steelers, and the Ravens would take on the Texans. I do not like that for the Texans.
I forget the 49ers went to the Super Bowl just like what?
A few years ago.
Yeah.
Now over in the NFC, there's a big battle there for the last wildcard spot.
Yeah.
Right now, Detroit is the 1 seed. Philadelphia Eagles have also clinched a playoff berth. Both of them at 12-2, but Detroit would get the bye. The Commanders would go on the road to take on the Eagles.
Wow, how about that?
The Packers would take on the Bucks. Packers would probably be favored in that game. And then the Vikings would go on the road to take on the Rams. Dude, the Vikings and Packers would be favored in those games.
I don't trust those Rams. That Rams team is going to be garbage in the playoffs, man.
Meantime, Seattle's sitting there at 8-6, 1 game behind.
Yeah, Seattle lost.
They lost to Green Bay.
Yeah.
The Commanders barely beat the Saints. Thank God the Saints lost, man.
Keep that draft pick high.
Draft pick high, baby. So let's talk about the Cowboys. I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch the Cowboys game. I was too busy watching other NFL. But the Cowboys have won 3 out of 4 games. Now 6-8, Joe. Dude, what if they finish the season with a winning record?
Yeah.
That'd be the oddest winning record of all time, right? 6-8. They've got Tampa Bay, Philadelphia and Washington. Okay, so maybe not, right? They'll lose to Philadelphia when
I
it's all
mean,
said and done.
it's all done. Cowboy season is done, dude. It's been done.
But Cooper Rush getting another win, 3-3 as a starter this year, 8-4 for his career as a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. The one thing that you keep looking at, though, Joe, and then looking at the highlights of the game, is Rico Dowdle. Again, Joe, 149 yards rushing. How much does this piss you off knowing that they gave the keys to the car to Zeke Elliott to start the season when Rico Dowdle was capable of doing what he's doing now, back-to-back-to-back games with more than 100 yards rushing? 149 against the Carolina Panthers, 131 against the Bengals, 112 against the Giants, and even before that, 86 against Washington. He was on the team, ready to go to start the season.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys were like, nah, third string.
Yeah, you know what? That has a lot to do with Jerry Jones. Jerry's like, no, Zeke's our guy. That's who's going to start. I just got a feeling. Now, the hell with you, Jerry. Like, look at what's going on. Jerry is the reason that this team is what it is right now.
Right.
Yeah, they blame Mike McCarthy a lot, but Mike McCarthy's nothing more than a puppet. Jerry's the one that's pulling all the strings, man.
Gilbert P., that's a new name that we see up there. Says that his original prediction was 9-8 for the Cowboys.
Right.
I predicted 7-10. Joe, you predicted 7-10 too. We were both in agreement when it comes to that. But Rico Dowdle is showing some legs, man. And
showing some flashes here, man.
And the season's over for the Cowboys, right?
Oh, yeah, man.
But the question becomes, what are they going to do? Because according to Blogging the Boys, we saw RJ Ochoa talking about this on bloggingtheboys.com, how Stephen Jones is indicating that he has no desire to go after big name talent.
Oh, yeah. They think they know better. They're stupid.
That they believe, they call it middle class and upper middle class players. That they want to have a team of, 24 starters that they're just north of I, as opposed to having a few superstars and then fill in the gaps with other people.
Who does that remind you of, Mike? They have a bunch of guys that are I.
Reminds me of the Spurs.
You have one superstar and a bunch of guys.
By the way, guess who's a free agent at the end of the year?
Who?
Rico Dowdle.
You know what? You know what his name's going to be next season? Gone. You think he's going to want to come back to this? He's going to say, hell with this dude.
Crap show? I don't think so, man.
Gone.
That's so funny. Got a $1.99 super chat coming in from Tex-Mex Frank. Says, un grito for Rico.
And that was for Mike just because.
Okay.
Presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
Pouring one out for Rico Dowdle, who, by the way, this year was on a 1-year, $1 million contract.
Yeah, and just want to say shout out to Tex-Mex Frank. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support. We all had a good little meeting over the weekend. He was out there. I was there. Chicana Fuerte was there representing her and Rick. So we all had a good little discussion, man, of things to come, working on some things behind the scenes.
Dude, Rico Dowdle, we got bloggingtheboys.com with an article that says why Rico Dowdle's recent performance may be pricing him out of return to Dallas.
Yeah, it's the writing's on the wall, Mike.
Gone. They should not give him the ball at this point, man.
No. Yeah, right now he's just auditioning for another job somewhere else, man.
And he's doing really well, 880 yards. So you're telling me that he's going to have 1,000-yard season, 1,100-yard season by just playing the next few games.
Yeah. He's going to go and probably want to play for a contender,
The one thing that's bad about Dowdle, though, only one touchdown, 177 carries, one touchdown. Remember that joke you and I would always say? If you had your line, your life on the line,
and
you could only have one person from the 1-yard line, who would it be?
Zeke.
Dude, Zeke knows how to find the end zone from 3 feet out.
Yeah.
Like that's.
But the brother ain't gonna run you 20, 30 yards,
What I say, just put him in at the 1.
Yeah.
Every time. every time.
He's the battering ram, bro. That's all he is.
And even when he doesn't batter through, ram his way through, he like just falls in the right direction. Like gravity takes over.
What was the name of that one cowboy player from years ago that had the tendency to actually get extra yards after the fall? Novacek.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah.
They would wrap him up on the legs and he would fall the right way, get another yard and a half.
Yeah. My favorite battering ram of all time was Mike Altstadt.
Oh.
Remember him with the Bucks? There was one game where I was playing fantasy against somebody who had Warwick Dunn. Warwick Dunn had 160 yards rushing. I had Mike Allstott. He had 3 carries for 3 touchdowns.
Remember, the other battering ram that was good was the Steelers running back. What was his name? The Bus.
Oh,
Jerome Bettis. Dude was like a freaking barrel, bro. Like a little refrigerator, man.
The old names, man. Christian Okoye that one season for the Chiefs.
Oh
my God.
Yeah,
the battering ram is gone, dude.
Yeah.
Like the only battering ram I see right now, and he's not even a battering ram, but like Taysom Hill.
Yeah, I can see
Taysom Hill's kamikaze, dude. Just
runs and then boom, knocks everybody down.
Did you see what the Niners did? How bad has the Niners season been?
It's been bad.
One of their players got suspended for 3 games today. And how strategic the Niners were in doing this. They suspended Devondre Campbell for 3 games. Did you hear about the story, Joe?
I didn't hear about that.
Devondre Campbell is a linebacker for the Niners, right?
Yeah.
He's a backup guy. He came into the season as a backup, but because of injury to Greenlaw, who's one of the stars on the defense for the Niners, Campbell started 12 games. Campbell did good. Greenlaw comes back. It's his starting gig, right? Greenlaw is like, Pro Bowler. Campbell gets sent to the bench. Greenlaw gets hurt. Another player gets hurt. And the Niners look at Campbell, who again had started 12 games, and was like, dude, you're up, baby. Get back in the game. Guess what he said? Nah, mate. He refused to go into the game, Joe. He refused. He was like, nah, I'm good. Niners taking on the Rams. Rams beat the Niners 12-6.
That's funny. Can you imagine?
He was dressed. He had a helmet.
I might.
He's like, no.
Can you imagine if Wemby did that? I would be freaking laughing my ass off. He did that to Pop.
Right.
Spurs are down 30, when Coach Pop was coaching, right?
Right.
Down by 30, 3 minutes to go. All right, go back in there. Nah, I might.
Yeah. I like Stephen A. Smith's comment on this. He was like, the guy should not have been allowed back on the plane. Like if you're either on the team or you're not on the team, right?
Yeah.
So can you imagine being an NFL player making millions of dollars? I don't know. I have no idea how much this guy's making. Maybe he's making just $1 million.
Yeah.
But to look at your head coach and go, no, man, I'm good. You took my start. I was playing good for 12 games.
Yeah.
And then you benched me. But it's not like the guy that they brought back in was a scrub.
Yeah.
Greenlaw's been there for a long time. Greenlaw is a Pro Bowl player.
Man, but those are hood rules, though, man. It's a principality behind the whole thing, Mike.
So the thing about it is that Devondre Campbell could have been cut.
Yeah.
But this was strategic for the Niners, was to suspend him for 3 games, because if he got cut, Joe, he could have signed with another team. He could have made a playoff run.
And look at Elias.
Yeah.
His comment. His reason was, I don't feel like playing today.
I don't feel like playing.
He called into work while he was already there.
Campbell signed a 1-year, $5 million deal with the Niners, including a $3.5 million signing bonus. So what the Niners are trying to do is they're trying to say, hey, we want that signing bonus back, or at least a chunk of it. Strategic in them saying, dude, we're not going to let you sign with the Lions, because again, would the Lions want him?
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the Lions, I know we talked about them earlier, but Dan Campbell has some questionable play calling when it comes to the clock, man. As much as I love Dan Campbell, and I think he's one of the reasons why the Lions are so good, you want to play for that guy. The guy is crap for brains when it comes to clock management, man. And that's going to be their undoing, Joe. Any good comments coming in?
Yeah, they're talking about Sohan already.
Okay, well, you know what? Before we talk about Sohan, let's give some love to MCS General Contracting. Been there from day one, that Diamond Heart Concrete. By the way, before we go, go ahead and do that, and we'll talk about the NFL draft in a minute.
Okay. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show.
That diamond hard concrete, my man. Diamond hard.
Yeah, get that diamond hard concrete in your life. And they also make the chat go as well, because the chat is powered by MCS General Contracting. If you need a pickleball court, you need a basketball court, parking lot, you need a ramp, for your ADA compliance and whatnot, go ahead and call MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. Tell Chris Leha we sent you.
The Cowboys suck at tanking.
Oh, I don't think they got the memo of what they need to do. Jerry says, I know better.
Yeah. So think about this. They're not going to make the playoffs, and they're not going to get a good draft pick.
And what are they? They were 13 weeks ago?
14 now.
Yeah.
They were 9 a couple of weeks ago. They've won 3 out of 4 games. They've dropped number 14. Right now, the draft order has the Giants at number 1 overall. The Las Vegas Raiders at number 2. Now, the Raiders play tonight, and, you would think they'd want to lose, right?
Oh, yeah.
Number 1 pick.
Tank for Shador?
Or tank for Cam. One of the two. New England sitting at number 3, followed by Jacksonville, Carolina, Tennessee, and Cleveland. All 5 of those teams with 3-11 records. The Jets are sitting at number 8, the Bears at number 9, and my Saints at number 10. Let's keep that number 10 spot right there. The Bears have lost 7 in a row, man. They were 4-2 at one point, now 4-9. Now, according to a mock draft on Tankathon right now, they said if the Giants get the number 1 pick, they would take Shedeur Sanders. Number 2, Cam Ward. Now, here's the thing. I've been reading articles, Joe, about the Raiders, how they might be willing to trade down if they can get Travis Hunter, who won the Heisman Trophy, Joe, from Colorado. The stud wide receiver / cornerback combo. Guy gets touchdowns and interceptions, baby.
So you're telling me they're looking for maybe, somebody that's going to drop down a little bit in the draft, maybe get some other stock in return?
They might, instead of getting a quarterback, they might say, give me Travis Hunter and a 3rd rounder.
Not bad.
Not bad. Get another quarterback elsewhere. Maybe get a Quinn Ewers or something like that in the 3rd round.
Now that would be interesting. Can you imagine him with wearing a Raiders jersey?
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Cam Ward right now going number 2 according to Tankathon to the Raiders. Although again, rumblings that they want Travis Hunter instead. Travis Hunter would fall to the Panthers. Looking at other teams, other players, Kelvin Banks Jr., the offensive tackle from the Texas Longhorns, slated to go to the Bears at number 9. My Saints getting Malachi Starks, the stud safety from Georgia. And they have the Cowboys at number 14, taking Luther Burden III.
Who?
Luther. You know Luther. Luther.
Little Luther or big Luther?
He's little. He's 5'11". He's a 5'11" wide receiver from Missouri who has caught 6 touchdowns this year and 676 yards. He's also rushed for 115. Cowboys going after a wide receiver in the 1st round to pair up with CeeDee Lamb. What says you there, Joe?
Nah. I don't know, man. Jerry's going to do what he wants to do. You think this is what he's going to do. But I guarantee you Jerry's going to flip the script and do something totally different. You know what we're going to do? We're going to wind up trading the pick away. I want to move down in the draft.
Straight down.
Yeah, straight down.
Ashton Genty, who was the runner-up for the Heisman Trophy, stud running back out of Boise State, would go 1 spot above the Cowboys at 13 to the Cincinnati Bengals. This was the first time in, I believe, a decade, Joe, that the Heisman Trophy had 1 and 2 not be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Back in like 2014, 2015, if I'm not mistaken, you had Christian McCaffrey and Mark Ingram go 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 4th time this century that there was a non-quarterback winning the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the quarterbacks that were out there that were considered to be in the top, Quinn Ewers being one of them, they all got hurt.
True enough.
And Shedeur Sanders started losing. Cam Ward started losing a little bit. I don't think you could have taken this award away from Travis Hunter. Mm-hmm. Travis Hunter, with all those touchdowns that he's caught, 4 interceptions, a forced fumble. This is like Desmond Howard back in the day when we were growing up.
Yeah.
So
I remember that.
congratulations to Travis Hunter, your Heisman Trophy winner, and Cam Ward, who was a finalist, who was also a quarterback back in the day for the UIW Cardinal here in San Antonio. Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 and have some Spurs talk on the other side.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/at Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
That's right. The Spurs are back at 500. Joe, it seems to be like a broken record, right? Spurs are back at 500. Spurs are back at 500. That's just who we are,
what
right?
What did we say in the beginning of the season? It said, this is what's going to happen, right, Mike? They're going to win a couple.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to lose a couple. Then they'll win one or two here, drop another couple, win another one here and there. And we said they're going to be hovering right around this, 500, kind of flirting with that throughout the season.
Right.
And when the dust settles, what did we say? 35, 38 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, isn't that looking like what might happen, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the hope is to get to 41 to say that you don't have a losing season, because the Spurs have had 5 losing seasons in a row.
Yep.
Spurs are back at 500, 13-13 on the season. Over the weekend, beat Portland in Portland, shorthanded. Won 118-116. The Spurs were down 17 late in the game. Came storming on back. Minnesota couldn't get anything going offensively. Nothing going offensively. Spurs lost last night, 106-92 to Minnesota. Spurs are now looking forward to having Atlanta and Portland come to the Frostbank Center before an East Coast trip, which includes Philadelphia, Brooklyn, and on Christmas Day, a game at Madison Square Garden on ABC against the New York Knicks.
Okay, I'm going to give you an opportunity right here.
Yeah.
Right? Because Spurs fans over the weekend when you were gone, they were coming at you. I'm sure you saw all the, the tweets on the X and whatnot, and they were like, oh, Mike, when he comes back in, he's going to have to go ahead and apologize to Sohan.
Why?
And what, not just why, but what was the score of the game?
Spurs scored 92 points with Sohan back in the starting lineup.
And how many points did Stephon Castle have? 2.
The tweet that I had responding back today, because when I'm with my girl, she doesn't like me on my phone. Okay, so I say off the Twitter on the weekends, right? Just try to be respectful, right?
Yeah.
Show that I'm paying attention to her, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm like, this is the weirdest flex of all time. Getting all horny about Sohan, getting all hard on for Sohan going 7 for 10 when the Spurs scored 92 points and Stephon Castle regressed down to 2 points.
I guess I'm going to show it. I'm going to show it.
Dude, if Sohan is taking shots, that's what the other team wants. Now, I will say this, though, Joe. Against Portland, he had double digits in points.
Yeah.
Only 1 shot made beyond 2 feet. Yesterday, he had 4 shots made beyond 2 feet.
But weren't Spurs fans singing the praises of one Stephon Castle, right?
Right.
How good he looks. Look at this kid
you
go.
Take Castle out of the lineup. You put Sohan back in. This is what you get. Because it's not so much the individual play.
Yeah.
It's about the collective 5. And all the Sohan fans out there are like, well, we can't. It's not Sohan's fault that Wemby can't make a 3 when he's out there. Wemby went 1 for 7. It's not Sohan's fault that Julian Champagnie went 3 for 12 from 3, or that Chris Paul missed all 3, or that Stephon Castle missed all 3. It's about the flow of the game and the flow of the offense.
Yeah.
And there is no offense with Sohan. Sohan freelances. He had a coast to coast, which was really nice. That one I'll give props for. He had a coast to coast. He went 94 feet on that one play. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you look at him at the end of the day, he's not all that bad. But how good is the team really when he's on the court? How good are they with him when he's on the court?
Matt Lambert was down saying, Mike is reaching so bad right now. How many points the Spurs score, Joe?
92.
How many points did the Spurs score, Joe? In the year of the Lord, 2024, how many points did he score?
92.
92.
Is that going to win you games in
No.
the NBA?
No. It's just a big freaking coincidence, right? That when someone gets put in the starting lineup, shit like this happens, right? So what if he scores 14 points? So what if he's 7 for 10? At the end of the day, if he's a part of a collective unit that scores 92 points, it's an efficient unit.
Yeah, and look at Elias says, Joe Castle had one bad game. I get that. He's a rookie, had one bad game.
Castle did nothing to lose a starting job.
I'm just telling you guys, what's going to happen is now that they've inserted Jeremy Sohan into that starting lineup again, when you go ahead and have Stephon Castle come off that bench with that second unit, he's not going to get as many touches, right? So what does that mean? That his points production is going to fail. You're going to have to look at the statistics, and you're going to have to live with that. He's not going to be given those opportunities anymore to be able to score in double digits.
Right.
You know, he's going to have to make it happen for himself. And if he has a great shooting night, good for him. But most of the time, this is what's going to happen.
92 points, Joe.
Yeah.
And the Spurs were also down 17 to one of the worst teams in the league.
Yeah.
Came back to win. Didn't cover the spread, but came back to win by 2. So, Joe, I mean, it's just like, great. Your guy scored 14 points, 15 rebounds. Great. 92 points.
No.
92 points. I mean, that's the answer, Joe.
And look, what does it tell you, man? At the end of the day, how many points did they score in the fourth quarter? And you're looking at the game.
19 in the first and 18 in the second. So, I mean, it was off to a slow start.
Under 20 points for the first 2 quarters, right?
Yeah.
And then you look and see what the Timberwolves did. They fared a little better. They had 28 points. First quarter, second, 24. Third, 24. In the fourth, they had 30. Spurs started coming to life in the third quarter. They scored 33 points, started cutting into the lead. But then the wheels fell off again in the fourth quarter, because what happens when you fall behind? You have to expunge a lot of energy to climb back into the game and even to win it. It's hard to always constantly play from behind. And that's what this Spurs team has been doing. Even though they play better, they still can't figure out how to go ahead and come out of the gate and match the opposing team's energy and either get a lead right then and there or try not to go ahead and fall behind by 10 or 20 points.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Matt Lerma reached out again. He's in his feels right now, saying it's all Sohan's fault. They're grown men, professional athletes. Chill the F out. Well, chill the F out, dude, when your guy only is part of a starting lineup that scores 92 points. What don't you get about efficiency, dude? Well, what don't you get about efficiency? So what if he balls out? Guess what? That's exactly what the other team wants. They want Sohan to ball out.
Because when he scores, let's say, I'm not bagging on him, but I'm saying if Sohan scores 23 points, right, and Wemby's only scoring 8, and Devin Hanley has 7,
if Sohan is the primary usage of the team and has his hands on the ball the entire time, that's what the other team wants. That results in what, Joe? 92 points. I don't give 2 flying Fs if Sohan goes down and gets 28 points and 30 rebounds. If the Spurs lose by 16 points or 14 points and the Spurs only scored 92 points.
I mean, when you see them win, what happens? You see the scoring. Okay. When it's a balanced scoring attack, usually chalk it up to a win. Right. But if you have one player going off and he's scoring 23, 30 points, I mean, I'm just saying Sohan, for example, and your rest of your starting unit's not living up to par, it's going to be a long night.
I find it's beyond a coincidence, Joe, that when Sohan balls out, the Spurs lose. It's beyond a coincidence.
Because what do the opposing teams say? We're going to let him have his.
Let him have his.
But we're just going to focus on everybody else. They're going to let him, they'll camp out. They'll let him camp out beyond the 3-point line all day.
Sohan got a dunk? Fine.
You know, go ahead.
Sohan got a layup? All right.
He's behind the 3. He has a wide open 3.
What does the other team say? We can live with that.
Yeah, but if he's behind the 3-point line, they pass him the ball and he's wide open. You know what the other team is going to do? They're going to say, we don't even come out and guard him. Let him go. Let him shoot.
Let him shoot. 17 points, 15 rebounds. Spurs scored 92 points. Stephon Castle, 2.
And how many other games do they have coming up here, you know?
Well, the Spurs have 2 home games coming up before they go on their East Coast trip. They've got a game coming up against the Atlanta Hawks. You know, Spurs could do themselves a favor not only by winning the game, but also by giving Atlanta a loss. The Spurs have the unprotected pick of the Atlanta Hawks. as well. And then Spurs after that have the Portland Trailblazers coming into town. That should be a cheap ticket, Joe, even though it's a Saturday game. Dude, Thursday's game against the Hawks looks like a cheap ticket itself.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. And then Christmas Day.
Seat geek, you know?
Christmas Day, New York, baby. New York, baby. Sam Salinas reaches out to us on our YouTube stream. So this is why it's Sohan's fault. He always looks lost in the court. He's out of position a lot when the game is tight. And he ends up trying to be the hero. His stats fall in his lap. You know, I mean, he can light up the stat sheet and it won't give me. If it doesn't result in a win, it doesn't result in a win.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't result in a win. 92 points. Like everyone's like, Jimenez apologized today. For what? Spurs scored 92 points when he was out there. like, did he contribute to a win?
How many times did the Spurs go to the free throw line in this game against the Timberwolves? Well, I was looking at it that stat.
Not very often. You know why? Because the ball's stagnant when he's out there.
And I'm saying, you know, look at what happened. If you look at the stat line at the end of the night, how many times did the Spurs go to the free throw line? 9 times. They knocked down 7 to 9. How many times did the Timberwolves go to the free throw line? 14 to 16. There's your game.
Mm-hmm.
They were the aggressors, right?
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, but they didn't get the calls. No, they didn't force the refs to make those calls because they just weren't aggressive. Because why? They had Sohan getting his.
So can we all agree, Joe, you and me, packed, that Sohan could go off for a 20-20 game and we not care if the Spurs lose by 18?
And Wemby has a double-double. Wemby has a triple-double and they win. Hey.
That's great.
That's great.
If Sohan goes for 20 and 20, Spurs lose by 15, who cares? Who cares?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it absolutely, who cares? By the way, Joe, I saw this thing the other day. It's this was on TikTok, and it was about an analysis of NBA games and how ratings have gone down, Joe. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. You know, younger generations don't watch TV as often, right? They're with their iPads and laptops and whatnot. But someone has brought up the point, and I've seen this a lot, Joe. A lot of rumblings on ESPN, FS1, a lot of people that talk sports. And it got me thinking about it because I think that they're on to something right. Does the NBA need to change the rules of the game because the game has been ruined?
I think they do. Because right now you see what happens a lot of times, and fans are already tired of this, dude. In the beginning, they made a change, right, to the rules. Wanted the game to be faster paced, right? They wanted them to be focusing on more on what? Shooting threes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was good for a while, right? But now people are tired of that. They see this all the time. They need something different, right?
An NBA record was broken over the weekend, Joe. Hornets play the Bulls, a record 75 missed three-point attempts in the game.
Yeah.
Imagine paying money, Joe, to go to an NBA game and seeing 75 missed three-pointers. There's only 48 minutes in a game. That means that there was 1.5 missed three-pointers per minute. More than that, Joe. The Bulls were 14 of 51 for 27%. The Hornets were 8 of 46 for 17%.
Yeah.
NBA record 75. And I saw highlights of this game, Joe. The highlights showed that there was no offensive movement. They just swung the ball around the three-point line, chunk it up threes. There was no inside outside game.
Yeah,
there was no pick and roll.
No fluidity to the game.
There was no bank shot.
Yeah.
And you know that chart where they show all the attempts?
Yeah.
Like you know the green circles and the red circles for where they shot on the court. Do you know how many mid-range shots were attempted in that game by the Bulls?
How many?
0.
Mm.
If it wasn't a dunk or a layup, it was a three-pointer. There was no attempt at a 15-footer, no attempt at a 10-footer, no attempt at a 16-footer or a 10-footer. It was all threes, layups, and dunks.
You know, and I saw a comment here. I want to put this in here as well. And look, at Tavares says, NBA ratings. He says, dude, people illegal streaming like I do. And you know what? He has a point here too. And that's another facet of it, right? As being an NBA fan, the NBA, it's hard to watch, right? And I mean, not hard to watch, like it's really poor. The games are poor. Games are all right. But the thing is, if you're not in that market, right, it's hard to watch your teams because the NBA, for whatever stupid reason, makes it that way.
Right.
Because they sell rights to ESPN, they're going to sell rights to TNT or whoever else.
Yeah, I had to get Fubo because I can't get it on YouTube TV.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous at the end of the day. It's like you're doing these things and you're making it harder for the consumer to watch the product out there. And that's another reason I believe that the ratings go down is with the advent of these illegal streaming sites. People are like, you know what? I don't want to pay a subscription to this. Why am I doing that when it's so difficult? I have to get the top tier package, or I have to get 2 or 3 different sites, or services just to see these games. If I do illegal streaming, it's free and I can watch it.
There's a lot of truth in all of that, Joe. A lot of truth in all of that. But the fact of the matter is that even if you are watching the game, the product sucks.
Yeah, it's not what it used to be. Back in the day, it was hard-nosed defense, right? You're playing defense. Games were won in the 70s, 80 point range, right? Back in the day. And the focus was a lot more on defense, moving the ball around, and that was old school basketball. The game evolved and it became more focused on the offensive side of things to make it a little bit more exciting for the consumers, right? For the fans. But now just chunking up threes, it's gotten ridiculous.
Well,
man.
I mean, it's because the analytics show that the play of a player like, we'll go back to Jeremy Sohan, is outdated. It's inefficient over the long haul, right? And because of that, you see teams like the Warriors, and it kind of started, Joe, back in the day with the Phoenix Suns with the 7 seconds or less, shoot the ball with in 7 seconds or less. Then the Spurs had the beautiful game, and then Golden State took it to another level when you had Klay Thompson and
small
Steph Curry chunking up threes, right? And Andre Iguodala and all that stuff, but they were just knocking down threes. Analytically, Joe, even though this is crappy basketball to watch, that's how you get more points, Joe. The movie Moneyball, remember Moneyball?
I remember that.
It's all about getting hits because hits result in runs, right?
Yeah.
Here, or hits and walks result in runs. Here, made 3-point shots add up to more points.
Yeah.
Okay. Down low, if you're DeMar DeRozan and you are 10 for 20 mid-range shooting, and you score 20 points, but you have a 3-point shooter who was 7 for 20, the 3-point shooter made more points than you.
Yeah.
Shot 35%, but made more points.
Yeah.
Because the effective field goal shooting was 52, not 50. See, it's all about efficiency of basketball.
It's about the numbers.
And here's the thing, Joe. So the ideas being thrown out there, Joe.
Yeah.
I've seen 3 ideas out there. Let me know if you like any of these. And for those of you who are listening to the show, what do you guys think of this? One is to make the court bigger. That if you make the court bigger, it might be easier to get fast break points and less reliant on shooting threes.
Yeah, well, you want to make it 3-point shooting league. Why don't you go ahead and stretch out the 3-point line even further?
That's the other thing. Stretch out a foot or 2.
Yeah.
It's too close, man.
Yeah, make the court a little bit wider, a little bit longer, like you were saying.
Dude, I mean, these are professional basketball players. The distance between a high school 3-point attempt and an NBA 3-point attempt is like a foot.
Yeah.
It used to be further. I remember in the 80s, Joe, the 3-point line was it felt, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
Didn't they move it in?
Yeah, I think they
move
did.
it back out. The other things that they're saying is what if you were to say the 3-point attempt is not worth 3? What if it's worth 2.5? You start having decimal points in games.
0.5.
Yeah.
We do have an incoming chat from Jeff Garcia, Locked on Spurs here. He's saying, Joe Jimenez, you see a new movie was filmed in San Antonio. I did not see that.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And apparently it's getting really good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. Which is really cool. All right, Joe. So here's Joe. 1979, 1980.
Okay.
The NBA 3-point line was 23 feet 9 inches at the top of the key. In 94, they moved it to 22 feet. 97, they moved it back to 23.9. And in 2010, they moved it to 22 feet, Joe. It is 22.1 feet. That's 7 feet further than the actual free throw line.
And
they gotta move it back.
They got to move it back. Now you got players shooting from almost, mid-court and whatnot. Like, move it back, dude. Make it harder for them to get a 3 up.
And then, Joe, I saw another question asking about 3-pointers.
Yeah.
What if only 5 3-pointers counted per quarter? So you say you could chunk up 3-pointers all you want, but we're only going to count 5 of them per quarter.
Yeah. The other's going to be just 2. A long 2.
Yeah, so if you make a 30-footer and you've already made 5, they count as 2. Because the way that it's going right now, Joe, because analytically, even though these two teams, the Hornets and the Bulls combined for 75 misses, that's actually analytically the right thing to have done. It's shitty basketball, but that's what it takes to get the most amount of points.
Yeah.
And that's what makes players like Dennis Rodman, that's what makes players like Jeremy Sohan just not usable.
You know what?
If you extend the 3-point line out to 23-9 the way that it was before, I bet you Sohan becomes a lot better of a player.
You know what I think would be interesting too? You can only count a 3 as a 3 if you're in the bonus.
Oh, interesting.
They're
also saying that other things you could do is you could have the 3-point line only exists if you are losing, or the 3-point line only exists the last 2 minutes of each quarter, because it's not basketball anymore. Because a 22-foot shot is easy. It's easy, Joe. I saw this comedian the other day, and it's like one of those like TikToks, and it was this comedian talking about why certain things aren't a sport. And he was saying that bowling is not a sport because even drunk, he can actually get a strike.
Yeah.
And the strike is the best thing you can do in bowling, and he can do it drunk. He goes, I can't slam a ball drunk. I can't throw a touchdown pass drunk. I can't hit a home run drunk, but I can bowl strike.
There you go.
Right? You and I, Joe, haven't picked up a ball in years. I bet if you and I went to a 3-point line, just chunked up 10 shots, we'd probably make at least 3.
Probably.
Very least 2.
Yeah.
You know, haven't shot the ball in forever. And I know this because I was at Cornerstone High School before a game, and I got the ball and I shot it a few times and I made a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like 2 for 5 when I shot them. I wasn't 2 for 3. I was 2 for 5.
Yeah.
I was unguarded shooting from the top of the key. That's the same distance as an NBA 3-pointer.
Yeah.
You're telling me that is the distance for 3 points in the NBA these days when it used to be further. People talk about like, okay, well, Curry's obviously the best 3-point shooter of all time because if you look at statistically compared to Larry Bird had a shooter from further out.
Yeah, he did. Back in the day, they did.
He had a shooter from further out, and people were beating the shit out of you while you were shooting the ball.
Yeah, I thought of an idea too. What if they go ahead and only put they take away the 3-point line entirely? Right. You don't even show it on the court, because when that 3-point line isn't displayed, it just no matter where you're shooting from the court counts as 2.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the bonus or something like that, or even for a small period of time, you finally show that 3-point line, and that's when you can go ahead and shoot a 3 from beyond that line, and it'll count. But most of the time, just take it away.
Brutal.
You have to work up to it. In other words, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's got to be done because the way that the game is played right now, it's not it.
Maybe they should have the line throbbing, your phrase that you like.
Let's see what Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs at Ken 5 is working on right now. He has Sweep the League, our good friend Rudy Campos Jr. on today.
Go. Make sure you also follow them. They have a YouTube channel, so make sure you go give them some love.
So he has Rudy Campos Jr. on today. Interviews with Mitch Johnson after the Spurs lost 106-92 to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Again, Sohan, who had 17 points, 15 rebounds, and it resulted in a 92-point performance offensively from the team. He's also got what movie is this? Is this Big Trouble in Little China?
Big Trouble in Little China. Well, you don't know because you only watched, was it 5 minutes or 3 minutes?
No, I watched half the movie. Yeah. This is awful movie. How people watch that crap in the 80s, I'll never understand.
Oh, man. That's like saying you didn't like RoboCop.
I remember RoboCop. I remember liking it, but I haven't seen it in forever.
It didn't age well, bro.
RoboCop with the 3-boob girl?
No, that's a Total Recall.
That's Total Recall.
That's what Arnold, man.
Okay, RoboCop. Which is RoboCop?
Protect and Serve. Remember the guy gets all shot up by the thugs and they bring him back and he's a cop and they make a cyborg out of him.
Are we gonna have to bring back?
Oh, come on, Mike. You've never seen RoboCop,
Are we gonna have to bring back the movie review?
We
I don't
might
think
have to.
I don't think I've seen it.
I have to have you watch RoboCop. And the thing is, he's still alive in a way, right? He's still human.
Yeah.
So his food of choice for him, it's baby food.
Bear County Social Apparel, Mike Baez saying Mike lacks culture. Uncultured swine.
Hey, maybe that might be your assignment. You got to watch the original
Now,
OG.
Sam
RoboCop.
is saying Bloodsport.
Hey.
Bloodsport was funny though, man. That's a Van Damme movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's just his reaction to thanks to one of our viewers, Mario Cavazos, for reaching out to us and saying, check out the NFL.com. Joe, the Lions are snake bit, dude.
What happened?
One of their starting running backs, they have a two-headed monster when it comes to the running team. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. David Montgomery suffered a torn MCL, likely out for the season.
Man,
things aren't looking good for the Lions, man.
It's not, dude. So,
dude, my fantasy team in the playoffs, I had Amon-Ra St. Brown. Just giving me a chance, dude. He and Jahmyr Gibbs are giving me a chance.
Hey, Texans won their division.
They did win the division. They still suck. They still suck.
They still won, though.
They
Hey, my
suck.
Sancha team's still in it, bro.
They still suck. But this helps out my fantasy team because I have Jahmyr Gibbs and he'd be their only running back. So, but I gotta go deeper into the playoffs. Joe, I got no points for my quarterback this week. None. I had two quarterbacks because of injuries and whatnot.
Yeah.
Both of them sucked ass. So now my question is, do I go into the waiver wire for a playoff game to pick up Cooper Rush?
You might have to. Who's your QB right now?
Brock Purdy.
Oh, no, bro. No, man. You gotta make a move. You know what? You could have been worse. You could have picked up Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, that's true.
How many points is he worth right now? Zero.
I have Jameis. So going into my playoff game right now, this was an auction league. I am up by 62 points going into Monday Night Football. I have Brock Bowers yet to play, and he's got Sam Darnold, Aaron Jones, and Justin Jefferson. It's going to be a long night.
Bro.
My win probability, according to ESPN.com, is 56%.
I don't know, man. I'd probably have to drop Brock and go get somebody else. Hey,
no, Brock is amazing, dude. No. I'm sorry, Brock Purdy's not. No, I have Brock Bowers.
Yeah, Brock Bowers.
Okay, the name of my team is called because I had two Brocks.
Yeah,
we're the Brock party.
Yeah, man.
But no, yeah. So my only person I can get is Cooper Rush. He's still out there.
Hey, he plays, dude. I mean, might not be too bad. You might be able to pick a couple points with him.
Yep.
I mean, that's what it all balances out at the end of the day. You know, you just need to get the points where you can.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting text messages right now about my divorce thing. Again, that's going to go on today at 2:00. Wish me luck.
Yeah.
Everyone say a prayer, light a candle, whatever the case may be. Want to do some pop culture?
Sure. Look at that, Mexican Junior. How can someone not have watched RoboCop? This is shocking.
It's just one of those things, man. I just didn't get off to any of those movies. I don't understand. I never understood the desire to watch, how should I say, stupid movies.
No, it's not a dumb movie, dude. It was cool.
Dude, I mean, like Big Trouble in Little China with the all the racist Asian shit going on. I mean, I never got off to any of that.
Okay.
Like an Ewok. Why? I do what I did growing up. I watched sports. I watched WWOR. You know, you'd watch the Mets play, Strawberry, Gooden. I'd watch the Cubs. You know, Leon Durham, Andre Dawson. I'd watch the Braves, Dale Murphy.
What was that other channel they had
Maddox
back in the day out of Chicago where you'd watch the Bulls, TBN or some, 18. It was channel 18. They used to show you the Bulls games and some of the other sports from Chicago, the Bears and whatnot.
Superstation.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Superstation TBS.
Yeah.
And then it became TBS.
Yeah.
I watched Spurs games. I watched a bunch of sports. My friends would go off and go like, they'd go, hey, you want to come over and play Star Wars? And I'd be like,
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe? No, man, I'm good. Want to watch He-Man? Why? Why
not?
Like all of this.
No Transformers?
Just lame, dude.
No Transformers?
I just never understood. I just like, let's just go play sports. Can we go play sports? I wasn't playing with dolls. Wasn't playing with anything like that. I just wanted to go play sports, man.
Yeah, that was the name of the channel. WGN, man. Thanks
WGN.
for yeah, there you go.
Eshan says there will not be any Star Wars blasphemy. Dude, the movie's about a brother who is in love with his sister. That's all that it is. WGN. Great times.
Yeah, man. That was a channel back in the day, man. I remember my uncle used to have that huge ass satellite dish, right? Thing was humongous back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And he had his receiver all chipped and whatnot because they did that back then. And he was picking up the Bulls games out of, WGN, Channel 18 in Chicago and all that, watching Michael Jordan and all them go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell of a time, man. I used to remember watching WWE in the mornings as well, man. I used to love watching some old school WWE wrestling, man,
now
back in the 80s.
Now here's the thing. Old school wrestling, world-class wrestling.
Yeah.
Because I'm
WCW.
Texas. I'm a Texan, so watching things like the Von Erichs, Superfly Snuka, that my cousins got me into that. But then I turned 12 and I started liking girls, and I just didn't watch wrestling anymore, dude. I just kind of feel it's a rite of passage to not watch wrestling anymore once you like chicks.
No, like the girls that we used to hang out with, they used to like watching wrestling with us too. We'd all get excited watching SummerSlam and all that. It was a rite of passage all the time. Even when I was like 13, 14 years old, we would all get together and watch it.
Midtown Texas, Bozo the Clown, Saturday mornings.
Jeez.
And then later on became Homie Don't Play That.
Oh, we got a $1.99 super chat coming in here. Thanks, Tony Ornelas. Appreciate you, man. And he says, MJ watched Better Off Dead, but not RoboCop.
I had sisters, man. My sisters would rather watch John Cusack than watch whoever starred in RoboCop.
But what a great movie that one was, dude. Better Off Dead.
It was.
It's funny, dude.
A little racist, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Our girl Sydney Sweeney is in the news. Every article coming out right now in entertainment's talking about her because Sydney Sweeney, I don't care what our good friend Chris Layhoff from MCS General Contracting says. Sydney Sweeney's an ultimate nugget, Joe, right?
She's not Midney, dude. He calls her Midney.
We had our baddie brackets. She was the finalist. She should have won, by the way. She should have won.
Who was the winner?
Some 80-year-old Salma Hayek.
What's wrong with Salma, dude?
Salma Hayek is forever beautiful, but she's also
What does
57.
it tell you, though? What does it tell you about our viewers?
It means they don't understand the rules.
They
don't understand the rules because everyone's like, dude, because from dusk till dawn, it's about 2024, not what she looked like in 96. Okay. So that being said, we see Sydney Sweeney as having a certain body type, right? Kind of I don't want to say voluptuous, but I guess kind of sort of. She's a sex symbol. She's kind of like a modern day Marilyn Monroe. She started in Euphoria, started in White Lotus. She's popular. Well, now she's training to be in a new movie about former boxer. Is it Christy Martin?
Yeah.
And because of that, she's had to change her body. She's now muscular, Joe.
What's wrong with that?
It's for a movie role. And then also because of all this, looking kind of frumpy because, again, she's playing a character, and what actors and actresses do is they change their body style to match what they're doing. Christian Bale did this all the time.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now Sydney Sweeney is not looking the way that she normally looks. She looks a lot more frumpy.
Frumpy.
And she's doing that because, again, she's training for a movie role.
What's wrong with her, though, man?
But she's posting these tweets and whatnot that she's getting where people are complaining about her looks. But again, she's playing a role. Joe, are people just being dicks?
I think so, man. I mean, what's wrong with her, dude?
All right.
She's doing a role. She's still looking fine as hell, dude. Like, what's the problem? If you tell me it's like this, right? If you walked into a room with her on your arm, how much hotter would she be than most of the people in that room?
Oh, most definitely. Tony O'Neill saying, Mike, wait, no, that's not the one. Tim Gonzalez saying, come on, Mike, don't hate on Salma. She's still a hot nugget. She is. But Salma Hayek is not the hottest celebrity in the year 2024. Stop it. Out of the 64 people that we had on there, Salma Hayek wasn't even in the top 32 in the year 2024. Stop it.
It's husky size. I guess they're talking about her. They're talking about you because they said, look at Mike. Mike for sure had Bugle Boys on back in the day.
Dude, it's funny that you mentioned Bugle Boy because I made that reference the other day because we were getting in the car, me and my girlfriend and her friends, and getting in my truck, and someone said when I drove up with my truck, because I have a new truck.
Yeah.
Her friend looked at me and said, "Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon?" And then we started talking about old school commercials, and I was like, "Excuse me, are those Bugle Boy jeans you're wearing?" Whatever happened to Bugle Boy?
Out of business, dude. But you remember the Z Cavariccis? I bet you wore those.
I never wore Cavariccis. I wore Gerbeau.
Gerbeau. I remember the Gerbeau. Where did you get them from, though? You get them from Solo Surf?
No, dude. Dude, I'm gonna tell you something.
Oh,
Joe, I'm gonna tell you something, Joe. This is where I'm gonna get some backlash.
Oh, you never went there. Come on.
I've never been to Solo Surf in my entire life.
Please, man.
We were my family. We were when it was time to go shopping. I would get one or two really good items from like a Gerbeau.
Yeah.
But dude, we go to Mervyn's,
Montgomery Ward,
Sears. Not so much Sears. We JC Penney. So it was Mervyn's, JC Penney,
Jeans West. Remember that place back in the day?
Never heard of it.
Oh, come on, Mike. It's South Park Mall.
But never went to Solo Surf.
Miller's Outpost. There was Jeans West and Miller's Outpost in South Park Mall back in the day, bro. In the 90s,
can I tell you something?
Oh.
I've only been to South Park Mall once.
Oh my God!
And that was for a client meeting at the food court. Like
the Bells, they had the Bells in there too.
Bells is the other place that we go to.
That's where I brought my first pair of Skechers. I went to Bells and got me some Polo Sport.
San Antonio is the Bells of the Texas.
You never went to the TGNY, Mike? Come on,
TGNY, dude. That was good times, man. That was good times, man. Thank you so much, man. Nearly 2,000 subscribers strong, man. That's outstanding.
Oh, Mike wore golf shirts in elementary school.
What did I wear to elementary school?
Lululemon. Fast forward.
Why are we still looking at? There you go.
No, I'm changing it, dude. I'm changing it.
Poor
Look at
city,
that.
Sweeney.
I used to wear Jabot with my Red Wing steel toe boots. 8th grade year at Anson Jones. Don't mess with Pay, man. Anson Jones is a different breed right there, dude. Cut tags. Now ya sabes, dude.
That's exit 7 adjacent is what that is.
That's what we're talking about, man. We keep it puro here, bro. Keep it puro. Wins. You remember the Wins, Mike? You ever been to the Wins, man?
Dude. I remember Wins. But Solo Surf I never went to, dude.
Ah, bro. It's a rite of passage, man.
Did you say Jean Barn or what'd you call that?
Jeans West, bro.
Jeans West.
It was a little store that they had at South Park Mall where they would sell a whole bunch of different clothing items and stuff.
Dude, I never, because I remember growing up always wanting to go to North Star.
Yeah.
Because I heard like good things about it. Never went. Like we were an Ingram Park Mall family.
Yeah.
Every once in a while we go to Westlakes, but 99% of the time, because I lived off of Ingram Road,
yeah,
we went to Ingram Park Mall.
Yeah.
And then they had those shops across the way where like the theater was, what was it called? Ingram Square, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go check that out, kind of like where Joe's Volcano is.
Yeah.
We check out some of those stores, but
Ingram Mall.
But there was no Solo Serve at Ingram Mall.
No, but they had a Solo Serve around the area.
Never went, dude.
Yeah, there was one right there. They had a Solo Serve right here off of Southwest Loop 410, and the other one was over there on the south side.
Yeah.
And you never went to Wieners. You never went to La Feria.
Never went to La Feria or Wieners.
Come on, bro.
Never did. Not one time. Tim Gonzalez says, I don't think Mike ever went to Payless. No, we frequented the Payless.
You never got no Pro Wings, bro? Come on.
We frequented the Payless, man. I would say that every year I get at least one Payless shoe.
Yeah, puro pinche Pro Wings, bro. Look, Mike definitely wore Pro Wings for school. He knows.
I have no idea what Pro Wings are.
Oh, come on.
Are those Payless shoes?
The Payless shoes from back in the day, dude. You weren't puro unless you had some Pro Wings, bro.
Oh, dude, never had any of these. That's funny though.
You had the British Knights, the BKs.
Dude, I did have BKs. I had British Knights, dude.
What was the other shoes?
K-Swiss.
K-Swiss.
and then if you wanted to keep it puro in San Antonio, Capas.
Or La Gear. LA Gear. Oh my God, dude. I can't believe you never went to Wieners, dude, on the south side of town.
Yeah. Jesse A saying, my God, image shots at Ingram. We did one time. What was the photo? Was it not glamour shots?
Glamour shots in Ingram Mall, dude. That's where they had the girls
I
with the boa and the light on top.
I remember
of them.
my guy friends and I got together to do like a photo that we did. Like we all got dressed up in a shirt and tie, and we went someplace at the mall. But it wasn't glamour shots because glamour shots was a little bit weird. It was like some, you know what? When they did it, they would have the photographer come to the school. It was at Holmes, dude. You know, where you could have like photos done with you and your friends, and it wasn't a yearbook stuff. It was just them coming over. So we did that.
Capas. They're talking about capas. Remember the capas back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they're the 3 triangles.
Yeah, and you could pop them out. And you could put in different colors.
Yeah. Tony asked if I've ever went to Handy Andy. Yeah, Handy Andy on the west side off of West Commerce.
Look at Fernandez. We're finding out the backstory of Mike. Now it all makes sense.
Oh, Fernandez, how does that work, dude? What's the backstory?
Because you're telling us you never went to the south side of town to go to like Solo Surf. You know, you never went to like a Jeans West and South Park Mall. Never went to Miller's Outpost. You know, those places you didn't even know about them.
The only time we go to the south side, Joe, is to go to Little Red Barn.
But you did go to Montgomery Ward, right?
Montgomery Ward, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
The Montgomery Ward, we'd go to the one at Crossroads and the one at the one at Westlakes.
My Cholo image shot was on the wall. Oh my God.
I appreciate Fernandez for filling in and helping me out on Friday. Co-hosting on Friday. We're gonna need some backup for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe even for Monday of next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Jeff join us on Wednesday, so we'll probably see if we can get Dyer on for Wednesday. Fernandez, I'm gonna have him on. I want to have him on Friday. Help me with the show. I'm gonna reach out to him today, and on Thursday we'll see if we can get Matt Lerma in here and we can talk some Spurs basketball.
Very nice. But he'll be excited because someone will go off for 20 and 18, and the Spurs will lose by 18.
I'm still here, Sohan.
Still here, man. But he got stats. He got stats.
He's gonna be that guy, dude. I'm still here, guapo. Boom. It's fun. You know what? I saw somebody earlier today on social media, and they're like, "Oh, it's my son's birthday," and they show the jersey they got their boy. Freaking Sohan, dude. Why? Why? I said, you want a jersey that with staying power? Just put on the back of the jersey. Gone. That's what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 seasons. Half the team's going to go.
That's funny, dude. That's funny. Well, everybody have a fantastic day. I got to head out to court. Well, my court's is a Zoom, Joe.
No,
remember back in the day when it was like you had to go to a courthouse? So I'm gonna go meet up with my attorney. We're gonna. I got my Lululemon polo on.
What if the judge says, "Is that a Lululemon?"
Pay her alimony. If he can afford Lululemon,
he's about to say that, and he's gonna say, "Wait, is that a Lululemon?"
Yeah,
no alimony.
So here's the sticking point, dude. I've already agreed to child support, right? I've already agreed to the amount. I've already agreed to so much, right?
Yeah.
But the main sticking points are we have property. We have 2 homes.
Yeah.
How does that get divided up? Right? We had a rental property, we had a primary residence. Other things that go on would probably be 401k, division of assets, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
you have to pay alimony?
I doubt it. I mean, my attorney says the odds are like less than 1%.
But I was gonna say, why though? Like, well, to me, it would make sense.
Well, alimony typically gets paid out if somebody was not working. She's a full-time employee who has a secure job, makes good money.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like you're not gonna take care of the kiddos. You know what I mean? It's not like you're not gonna be
the child support amount, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, jeez.
Yeah.
I'm having to pay more than likely. Good chance of having to pay the maximum amount of child support allowed in state of Texas.
It is what it is on that end. I mean,
just 5 years, though. Yeah. Just 5 years.
But I mean, it's you're doing that already by being involved with them.
Dude.
Like it's not like you're not involved.
Sperdan is asking me to live stream the divorce proceedings, Facebook Live.
Look at that. No slippery fingers. No slippery fingers today. On the weekend, I went and cleaned my control deck, dude. So that they're not going to stick. The buttons ain't sticking today.
Very cool, dude. All I know is 48 hours from now, Joe, I'm going to be flying over
Barbados.
Dude, I'm gonna look it up on a map.
Aren't you paranoid, dude? I'd get paranoid anytime you have to go across the pond, right? You're going across the ocean or whatnot. You're in the middle, like you're flying over the jungles and all that in South America. You ever think what happens if the plane went down? Like, what would you do?
Joe, Barbados is far, dude.
Let me see. You have it on the screen?
Let me see. Basically, it's off the coast of Venezuela, dude.
Jeez, bro. You go down out there, bro. You ain't coming back.
Okay, here's Cuba. Here's Puerto Rico. It's Dominican Republic, right? Puerto Rico, all that stuff.
Bro.
It's way the hell over here, dude.
You know what, man?
It's essentially South America.
Yeah, man. There's some bad dudes out there, man. You know what? Your best shot is go to Puerto Rico if you can. It's a U.S. territory. You go to the consulate, ask for immunity. I need help. You go to Cuba or anywhere else, dude, you're not coming back.
So we're gonna do a karaoke night.
Karaoke,
for our subscribers.
This is gonna be all up to you. You go ahead and you pick the place, since you do a lot of karaoke, right? So you know the places. You pick the place, and you just let the viewers know when we're gonna do it. Because I'm telling you, we're gonna hit 2,000 either this week or over the weekend. Sometime next week, we're gonna come in. It's gonna be 2,000, guaranteed.
Yeah. By the end of the year, let's make it happen.
Yeah, we're gonna guaranteed be 2,000. So we're gonna have to go ahead and decide what place are we gonna have the karaoke party at.
Barbados, the land of Rihanna.
You know what?
Wait, but as far as the party though,
yeah.
Do we want to do something where we go to a bar and we just get a section out there, or do we want to do the karaoke rooms?
I think
where
the
it's
room.
just us in a room.
I think that would be good. The karaoke room itself.
I was thinking of you the other day, actually yesterday when I was driving, because you oftentimes you make a reference to Three Doors Down pretty regularly.
Be like that.
Yeah, you're like Michael, because I have a tick where I say like TLC said, it's actual and factual. Dude, I remember the first time I said that on air. I was on Sports Star doing halftime.
Yeah,
and Rudy J was co-hosting. And the look on his face was like, did you just quote TLC at me? I was like, and as TLC said, Rudy, that's actual and factual. And Rudy lost his mind. He was laughing so hard. And I've said that line so many times since then. You always go, Michael, you're like Three Doors Down, man. If I could be like that.
That's the Spurs, bro.
Well, no, because I was you driving from Conroe yesterday.
Yeah.
Driving during the day, it's a 4.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Right. And people are like, well, why are you? I mean, come on, man. Well, first of all, she's a good girl, so I'm going to go out there.
Yeah.
But at night, if you leave like at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, 3 hours flat, dude.
There's no traffic.
There's nobody on the road.
The only thing you got to worry about, though, is you got to worry about freaking hogs and deer.
Right.
Because you're on the sticks, dude.
Well, but by the time you get onto, she lives on the part of Conroe that is like towards the woodlands.
Okay.
So it's 10 minutes from the woodlands. So just, you can get to some areas out there where there's a lot of like, you're in the woods.
Yeah.
But she lives in the city part of it all. So anyway, just driving back. So I'm driving back yesterday and, you're on Spotify, and one thing that you can do on Apple Play is you can create a radio station based on the song.
Yeah.
So I put down the song, Wish You Were Here by Incubus.
Okay.
Okay. And I was like, okay, I want to hear this vibe of a song. Right.
Yeah.
And I hit the button, and the next song that came on was Loser by
Beck?
Three Doors Down.
Oh, okay.
By Three Doors Down. I hadn't heard Loser in so long, and I'm there singing along to it. I'm thinking to myself, this is a good karaoke song.
Really?
And because it's a low voice.
Yeah.
You don't have to get that high up. Everyone knows the lyrics of that song. So I like put that down on my notes on my phone, Loser by Three Doors Down.
Yeah.
I have a list of songs that I hear on the radio, and I think to myself, I might be able to do that.
How are we going to do this, though? Are we going to just have like a randomized wheel, like a digital wheel, and we just spin it, and wherever it lands, that's you? Or are you just going to let them pick whatever they want?
Oh, like what songs?
Yeah.
Okay, so I go to this one place in the medical center. It's not really the medical center. It's Callahan and Babcock.
What's it called?
It's called Who's.
Yes.
Or Who's Who, or whatever it's called. It used to be called Who's, like an owl.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to Who's Who. It's karaoke all 7 days a week. But what I like about what they do there, that they do what's called karaoke roulette. And karaoke roulette is you don't actually pick your song. You pick the band or the genre.
Yeah.
So, for example, I can go up there and say Three Doors Down. I can't say Three Doors Down loser.
Yeah.
They're going to be like Three Doors Down. I'm like, all right, great. We're going to pick a song.
Whatever comes out.
It could be Kryptonite. It could be If I Could Be Like That. It could be Loser. You don't know. So at least you know it's a Three Doors Down song.
Unless I slip them a 20. Make
no,
it be this
not
song.
karaoke roulette. Is different. Some people go up there and go 90s R&B. Like I did that before. It was like 90s R&B, and then all of a sudden, Twisted by Keith Sweat comes on. I want your body.
Man, if you sing it like that, I'm dead, dude. I'm gonna be dead, bro. I'm gonna start laughing.
I want you to holler.
Is Chica gonna be here for the karaoke?
I'll make sure that happens.
Because that's gonna be funny, dude. I can only imagine how much she's gonna laugh at everybody singing.
She likes the way you say her name. She thinks it's funny.
What, Francesca?
Well, that's her real name. But
Or Francesca?
You call her Francesca.
I can't say her name right, but I like calling her Francesca.
Yeah, she's like, why is she saying that? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, do you like it? Because I don't hate it. but maybe we'll do something like that. But the karaoke roulette's interesting because it's like it's not embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not going to be like, oh, here, sing the Cyndi Lauper song or here, sing Britney Spears or whatever. It's not like that.
Not a girl's song.
No, it is a legit. You don't know what you're singing, but at least you've narrowed it down.
No Madonna like a virgin.
No. So I go I'll go like 90s grunge or 90s rock.
Gotcha.
90s rock, and then all of a sudden you're singing Collective Soul.
Hey, nothing wrong with some Collective Soul.
Shoot. Mike, it says sings to Creed when he showers. Did you see that TikTok of that guy of AI Creed singing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
No.
Let me see if I can see that, if I can find that one.
Oh, I forgot to say too, man. I got the Christmas card, Jason. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you, man. Got to send one back to you.
All right, let's see if we can hear this one.
You know Dasher and Dancer and Prancer and Vixen.
Oh, damn it.
You got to go back. Hit the back button. There you go.
This is the There I Ruined It. I don't know if you've seen the There I Ruined It thing.
Donner and Blitzen. But do you recall the most famous
This is for Christmas.
reindeer of all?
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer
Oh,
had a
God.
very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows.
Dude, it's the whole song, dude.
I love the other reindeer.
Jeez.
AI is awesome, dude.
I call him names.
I like this part here.
They never met Rudolph. Gone at any reindeer games and one foggy Christmas Eve. Oh, Santa came to say, can you take me higher?
Before we get in trouble.
Hey.
It morphs into Can You Take Me Higher?
Hey, man, that should be on the roulette wheel.
They never let Rudolph play it in those reindeer games.
Hey, but you know
they
what's
never
good?
let Rudolph.
I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be like, if you're going to laugh at us, Francesca,
Yeah.
you're going to have to go up there and sing too. Hey, you
She
could do a
won't
duet.
sing, dude.
You could do a duet with her.
Like Twisted's a great one because by
Yeah.
Sweat, got me twisted over.
Yeah, y'all could do a duet of some kind.
I would love to. She won't do it, dude.
No,
She'll get drunk though. She likes
she's not going
she
to
likes to
sing.
drink.
She ain't a singer.
She likes the sauce.
Who knows, man? Maybe she'll change. She'll get up there and do a duet with you or something.
Dude, we go karaoke sometimes, and she just sits there and laughs. It just cheers along.
Are you not entertained?
The last karaoke song I did for her, I did "Whip Appeal" by Babyface,
Jeez.
and I actually did all right, man. I did okay. He's okay.
Oh God.
Fantastic. Well, anyway, everyone have a fantastic day. Get 2 games on Monday Night Football. We'll talk more about the NFL tomorrow. Big game for the Vikings tonight. And wish me luck. Court starts at 2:00. No
There
live
you go.
streams, Fernandez, unfortunately.
All right, man. We'll see you boys tomorrow,
See
man.
ya.